Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of Grammar. Today we're looking at comparisons, how to compare things to other things. And we're going to specifically look at adjectives in the comparative and superlative form. Now you can do very similar things with adverbs as well. So take note of the adjectives and use the same rules for the adverbs. Let's have a look. Now what is the comparative form? The comparative form simply compares two things or two people or two ideas to each other. Let's have a look at the formula. We take our adjective, we plus ER, and there'll be a few spelling rules that we're going to look at as well, okay, for the ER spelling rule. And then we add the word than immediately after. Let's have a look. Some examples. Bob is taller than Maria. So you see tall is your adjective. We added ER to make the comparison. Then we gave the word than to show who he is taller than. Because he could be taller than Peter for all we know. So Bob is taller than Maria. And you can see many other examples here along the same lines. So pause the video, have a look at these examples, and then let's continue. Now what's the superlative form? The superlative form compares one thing or one person or one idea to the rest of the ideas, the rest of the things, and the rest of the people in the world or in the class or in the room. So you compare one to many. Let's have a look at some examples. Now, to make the superlative form, we need to put the word the first. Then we have our adjective, and then we plus est. And of course, there'll be some spelling rules for this a little bit later. So let's have a look. Bob is the tallest person in his office. So you see I have the word the. I took the adjective tall. I plus est. And then I tell you who he is the tallest of. For example, he is the tallest person in the world, in his office. So within a group. Okay, so he is the tallest in this particular group who are in his office. Now have a look at the other examples as well. Pause the video if you need to and read the examples carefully. Let's continue. Now let's look at some spelling rules for ER and EST. Now rule number 1, if your adjective already has E, just add R and ST. If the adjective ends in Y, you have to delete the Y and add IER if it's comparative, or IEST if it's superlative. You can see the example below. Rule number 3. If we have only one syllable and it ends with a vowel and a consonant, we need to double the last consonant before we add ER and EST. And I'll show you this example personally. Hot is one syllable. You only hear one vowel, so it's one syllable. So I double the T at the end, you see. I double the T, and then I add ER. Same thing with EST. I double the T, and I add EST. So if it ends with a vowel and a consonant and it's only one syllable, you know you have to double that last consonant before you add ER and EST. Now, if we have one or two syllable adjectives that finish with O, so O-W-E-R or L-E, we are allowed to add ER and EST. There are times that you'll be able to use it with the next formula that I'm going to talk about, but we'll see. Okay? So have a look at these examples again. Pause the video if you need to. And now let's continue. Now, we also have a different formula from the one that we've talked about already. It's the word more or less, most, and least. So these go before my adjectives. For example, look at this adjective here. Beautiful. How many syllables is it? Is it more than 2? Let's have a look. Beautiful. Yes, it's 3 syllables. So if you have more than 2 syllables, and it doesn't end in the way that I said before, which is, where is it? Here it is. O-W-L-E-E-R. Then we have to change the rule and use this one. So I can't add ER or EST because beautiful is 3 syllables. So I would say more beautiful than someone, or less beautiful than someone, or the most beautiful person in the world, or the least beautiful person in the world? Let's have a look individually. Now for comparative, we say more or less plus our adjective with no ER, please note, no ER, and I add the word than. So Maria is more beautiful than Tina. This book is less interesting than that book. And interesting is also 3 syllables. Interesting. So I hear 3 vowel sounds, so it's 3 syllables. Let's have a look at the next one. The superlative formula is the most or the least plus your adjective exactly as it is. So again, it follows the same rule. If you have more than 2 syllables, this is what we should follow. So Maria is the most beautiful girl in the world. This book is the least interesting book in the library. Now, of course, English would not be English without a few exceptions. So these words that you can see here don't have a normal ER ending or EST ending. They have their own comparative and their own superlative form. So have a close look at these words. For example, good, better, best. Bad, worse, worst. Much or many become more or most. Little becomes less, least. And far has 2 options, farther or further for comparative, and furthest, farthest for superlative. So further, furthest, farther, farthest. Both are equally okay. So practice these rules, everyone, and good luck.